What's going on, y'all? My name is Ignitah, and this is my alternative ending for Stranger Things in less than 1 hour. Let me know if y'all like it. Let me know if y'all think it's bad. Okay, so this is all off the dome, by the way. This is as a big Stranger Things fan. I don't know all the plot relevance. I do forget a lot of stuff from season 1, 2, and 3, and 4. But with my general consensus, this is my ending. Let me know if y'all like it. All right, this is not a whole season, by the way. This is just an ending, or just a season 5 summary of what I want season 5 to be or should have been. Okay, so it leaves off where the first season, or when season 4 ended. So, right, this is the Stranger Things finale. It leaves off where it ended, so everybody's together in the hill, right? So everybody's together. This is episode 1. Episode 1. I do think it should be 11 episodes. No. Yeah, I do think it should be 11 episodes. So we're gonna make it 11 episodes. Okay, so episode 1, everybody's together, right? And the episode starts with Vecna coming out of the ground. So it's gonna be Vecna coming out of the ground, right? And in this episode, it's all about them trying to get away from Vecna, because Vecna is specifically after them, the entire group. Vecna's after the entire group, not none of the families, not Holly, not nobody, just that entire group. So they notice, and Vecna using 4 Demogorgons to come out of the ground and go after these, go after them, right? So the Demogorgons are chasing them, and at the same time, they're also trying to find Dustin because they also know that they're after Dustin, because Vecna says, "I'm after all y'all," and Dustin gets radio and tells him like, "Oh, yo, Dustin, what's up?" And he comes in. So now Vecna is chasing them with the Demogorgons, and he is on top of the tallest building in Hawkins, and like he's taking control of all the speakers, and there's like the whole entire town is like, "Oh my gosh, what's going on?" And the cops trying to go after them, and next thing you know, so Vecna is in control of the entirety of Hawkins, but the thing is, he can't get out of Hawkins. See where I'm going with this? Shadow Gravity Falls. He can't get out of Hawkins. In order to get out of Hawkins, he needs Will, right? Right, but he also needs 11. He needs both of them, right? Not for what, y'all could come up with something, but he needs both of them, right? That's the biggest thing. So in episode 1, they run away. Episode 1 ends with them capturing Will. No. It ends with them capturing 11. So 11 gets captured, right? Right? That ends up episode 1, right? And then episode 2 starts with Elle and Vecna talking, yapping, maybe some more plot relevance, maybe some more closure, some more explanation, right? And Dimension X can still exist, by the way. So while all this is going on, Vecna explains Vecna explains to 11 that Dimension X is coming in soon. So not only is Dimension X is still coming in, the problem is the reason why Vecna needs both 11 and Will is because they have the power. So with those 2 vessels, they have the power to go beyond Hawkins. But he's in control of the entirety of Hawkins. Like he got it controlled. And the Mind Flayer is also coming up. So just hear me out. So Dimension X is still a thing. There's a timer, right? To where at the end of the timer, the Mind Flayer comes above ground through Dimension X, through the Upside Down, above ground, and just starts chopping heads off. Like starts just going after everybody. Right now it's peaceful. Vecna has these people trapped in the buildings, and like it's chaotic, apocalyptic, right? And they obviously they obviously get split up. 2 people are trying to, like, 2 groups are trying to get 11 back, and the other 2 groups are trying to help Will out and try to help him escape, right? Hawkins somehow, some way. But the only way to escape Hawkins is to defeat Vecna. Because it gets revealed that Vecna and the Mind Flayer both have one mind. They're both under one life. So Vecna dies, Mind Flayer dies. Mind Flayer dies, Vecna dies. Right. So episode 2 is 11 and Vecna talking. The groups established. Right. Now the military is also trying to get into Hawkins, right? The military not into Hawkins. They also try to get into Hawkins, right? And one of them figured it out. So actually, Kali finds a way to open one of the gates, right? Because I think you could. I think for well, let's say that you could only enter into Hawkins, but you can't get out of Hawkins, right? So Kali is able to enter into Hawkins. So they use Kali to open up a portal or a gate, through to get into Hawkins, not upside down, but get to Hawkins. So, right, and that's in episode 3, right? Gets into Hawkins. Boom. So now the military showed up, right? And like a massive military, right? And Vecna actually doesn't know that people could come in, but they can't come out. Vecna doesn't know that. So Vecna sees these people coming in, and they're like, "Wait, how are they coming in? They're using Kali." Boom, right? So they have military versus, right? And in episode 4, boom, military versus the Demogorgons, Demodogs, Demobats. It's like a whole out gunfire. People coming in. There's no nukes or anything because they're not trying to blow up Hawkins because they know answers are there. So there's no tanks or nothing. There's just a bunch of military men. But the government also is trying to get Will and 11 because they know that 11, or they know that one of the people say, when people talk, the civilians talk to the military saying, they're after Will and 11 because it's made up public to the entire people. So they're after Will and 11. Let me know if y'all like this ending. Let me know if y'all think it's corny or it doesn't expand. Like, I am leaving like more plot holes. I'm not answering plot holes. I'm saying like the general ending. This general ending would be better, right? Boom. So, right. So episode 4. So they need Will and where is it? Yeah. Vecna needs. Let me write this down. Vecna needs Will and 11 to get out of Hawkins and expand his reach. And don't get me wrong, the wormhole is in our Hawkins. The Dimension X is in Hawkins, but the Demogorgons and his monsters and him and his power can't reach outside of there, right? Don't get me wrong. The Demogorgons, Demodogs, Demobats, they come from Hawkins. They still can't get out. Like even if the gate of Hawkins were to be open, they will still come from there. So it would basically, it's like the wormhole. So the Hawkins is like the point, right? Let me draw this. So this is the entirety of the world. This is Hawkins, right? That dot is Hawkins. The point isn't to make it to where the entire world is that dot. The point is to where the dot can they can come out of the dot and go to other places, right? Like that. They can go everywhere, but they can't. They're only trapped into that dot, Hawkins. Vecna wants to get rid of the gate that's around the dot so they could go everywhere around it. Don't worry, they'll still come from Hawkins, but at least they're able to go everywhere and take control of the entire world. That's what Vecna's plan is, right? So, and then he needs Will and 11 in order to do that. I guess to use them as vessels, to sacrifice both of them. I don't know. Something like that, right? So, boom. So, Kali gets into Hawkins, and then the military is involved. And then this is where we get into episode 4. Now, I know y'all thinking, okay, are you going to let Will be a sorcerer? Yes. It's going to be the exact same way. You remember the scene? So, mind you, Vecna is actually, I think, you guys could decide whether Vecna should be hiding or should be staying in the overworld or in the upside down while he's reigning Hawkins. Because right now he's reigning Hawkins. Everybody's trapped inside. Everybody's corridor inside. He's not trying to murder everyone just yet because he doesn't want he needs these people to to basically be his slaves, right? Or to basically be to be alive. What I don't remember what Bill. Oh yeah, just to be his slaves, right? To help create more gates and to give the Demogorgons more equipment. I guess to what would be the reason actually to keep people alive? Um okay, so he's trying to use the entire town of Hawkins um as hostages. So that's why he have these people in their doors and corridors. You have Dustin with Eddie's dad in there, and they're trying to feel me. You have everybody, Erica, Tina, all of them. Derek could still be there. Holly could still be there. There's no. By the way, this is not. I don't do any mind things. You could like incorporate that, but this is my thing. Now I could do a deeper dive with like the whole mind thing. We'll have it to be where it's Holly and stuff. But this is my personal thing. So boom, right? Let me know if y'all like it. So this is that entire thing, and then episode 4, right? It's the entirety. They are able to push them back. They make an entirety military base, right? And they try to make a secret gate, right? And they're also trying to catch Will and Vecna, or they're also trying to catch Will and 11. By the way, there's not how 11's still with Vecna, right? And I'm not even thinking, why would Will go to the military base? Because that is a secret base. And Will finds it out through Murray. Murray finds out they built a secret base to try to flank Vecna and shoot Vecna, right? But the military is against them because they think that because he wants Will, that Will is against the military. So with that, they capture all of them. They capture Will, and because of that, Vecna, like, they make a lot of noise. You could say like Nancy tries to freak Will and all that. They always try to help Will out. And then because of that, they make a lot of noise and they alert Demogorgons, and then they try to fight off the Demogorgons and they get hit. And then next thing you know, Vecna comes through that gate, and that same exact scene could happen. The same exact scene that we saw in Sorcerer could happen, right? Besides Derek and the kids being involved, I don't want to incorporate kids. I don't want to incorporate all that. None of that needs to happen. None of the mind stuff needs to happen, right? So episode 4 is literally the Sorcerer again. It's just that the kids aren't involved and they're there to help Will, because Will gets captured, and gets put into the secret base, right? But and then also the secret base, they have a portal to the upside down, the same portal that we saw 11 die to or die, yeah, right? And the same thing happens. It's a bunch of Demogorgons. Will okay. So what happens is Vecna goes up to Will, and he does the same exact thing, right? But mind you, while that's happening, 11 is escaping. So 11 gets alerted. So Vecna gets alerted and goes back to get 11, because 11 is more important than Will. Will is like a little piece, but 11's a big piece. So he's like, okay, you'll be my spy once more. Boom. Vecna goes away to try to get 11 back, right? We could say like Hopper, a different type of group is saving 11 while he's being distracted by Will, right? And then the Demogorgons keep a track of these people, and then the same thing can happen. The same thing that we saw in the Sorcerer can happen. Then Will locks in, right? Does all that stuff. The same thing can happen. Boom. All right. Now episode 5. Mind you, there's a group of people that that are upside down trying to help 11. Good people that are upside down trying to catch Will. All right. At this point, right, Vecna is so angry, he decides to just go after everybody. Like, he just murks a lot of the hostages. So you see a lot of the hostages in the buildings get clapped. So Will goes over there and trying to help them. So and then Robin devises a plan to help what's her name? Vicky? Is Vicky the girl? So Vicky is actually in one of these buildings that he just is trying to murk all the hostages because he just lost control and he's angry, right? And there's a plan to where she's trying to save Vicky. So Vicky's in a building where it's like the Demodogs in the hospital. They're trying to get all these people, and then watch this. It's a callback to the season 2 with Bob, with what's his name, Bob, right? Robin saves Vicky. Robin saves Vicky. But as Robin saves Vicky, this is where Robin dies. Saving Vicky. Shock jock. I know y'all thinking, bro, why you trying to kill off Robin? Bro, if they would have killed off Robin in this way, it would have been better than what the frick we got. I'm sorry. My ending has deaths. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So boom. Robin dies, and Vicky basically replaces Robin within the group, basically, for the rest of the story. Robin dies, right? And that's episode 6, right? Saving the hostages, at least as much of them as he can, saving Vicky. So entire building on the Hawkins collapses. All the hostages are there. And then Vecna basically gets, let's say Dr. K is involved. He talks a deal with how much time we got? We still have a lot. So I do think it should end with 11 episodes. It should have 11 episodes. So boom. So episode 5 is Shock Jock. Robin dies. Mirroring Bob. Saving Vicky. Alright, boom. Then episode 6 is also, I don't know these episode titles. I'll come on episode titles a bit later. Episode 6 is what's it called? Episode 6, right? Episode 6 is dang, I got 4 more episodes already. Okay, no, actually no, I got 5 more. Okay, boom. Episode 6 is where Vecna is trying to make a deal with the military. So right now, the whole group is together. The whole group is together at this point. 11, Will, they all escape Vecna. Vecna is trying to make a deal with the military to capture Will and 11, right? But the military doesn't know that he needs both of them to destroy the entire world. They just think that he needs them just to need them, right? They don't care. So he reasons with the military, and then 11 and Will, right? They're with them, whatever. And at this point, what's it called? Lucas is with dang, bruh. Shoot. Okay, at this point, they're trying to come up with a plan to shut down Dimension X, right? To destroy the entire Upside Down and to destroy Vecna, whatever. So, with that being said, what happens is they devise this plan, and then they realize that they're running out of time, right? The countdown, they realize that the Mind Flayer is going to be ready to parade over Hawkins. So what they're going to do is they're going to go into the Upside Down, into Dimension X to defeat the Mind Flayer. Boom, right? So episode 6, they come up with the plan. Right? Now, Will come up with the plan. Now, this episode is when Will is coming out, but he doesn't come out to the entire group. He comes out to Mike Wheeler, and only to Mike Wheeler coming out. Only to Mike Wheeler, right? And I guess Jonathan could be there. Only to those two. And it's a very emotional scene. And ends with Mike Wheeler hugging Will, right? And they're saying, yo, it's okay, bro. We're best friends, man. I love you, bro. Boom. Jonathan, boom. Now, yeah, that could be no alternate ending, bro. This is the 11. This is the 11 ending, okay? This is not... But I know the Bother fans go like, bro, no, bro. That's right. That's the best ending right there. Boom. That's episode 6. That's episode 6, right? Episode 7, right? We get Lucas and Steve. Hold up, bro. I'm running out of space. Lucas and Steve, they're setting up so the plan is simple. They're trying to come at him with all sides. So the group splits on again, right? The same way, Dimension X, they're trying to split on all sides to try to take down Vecna, because they know if they take down Vecna, the town is freed and the town isn't whatever, right? So Vecna is in that same area in Dimension X, but the military is also there, and the military are actually giving comms to Vecna, So not only do the entire group has to deal with the military, they also have to deal with Demogorgons, Demobats, Demodogs, and Vecna himself. Okay, boom. So they decide to basically set up explosives around the entirety of Dimension X, right? With all military buildings, with all the Demodog hideouts, all my Demogorgon hideouts, or the Bat hideouts. There's like 4 hideouts, and then the Vecna hideout where Vecna is at, right? And the Mind Flayer there. So the Mind Flayer isn't there, right? What happens is Lucas and Steve and Murray. All right, I don't know how, but they all try to go into their bases, right? Boom. They're setting up explosives, right? Murray does some dumbass shit, and he ends up getting murked, right? He ends up getting murked, but he explodes the entirety of the Demodog's base. So Vecna cannot use the Demodogs at all, but Murray ends up dying. That's episode 7. Episode 8. So Lucas and Steve are by themselves, and it's they're talking about Max, and Max wakes up, right? Max wakes up. He talks to Max, and Steve and Lucas are like talking about, relationships and stuff like that, and how like they both want to see that, but they talk to each other like, bro, we might not make it, right? And also Dustin is there too. Actually, Dustin is there, right? And Steve and Dustin is there, and Lucas, they're like, bro, we might not make it, right? Like we're so cooked. And then Steve says to Dustin Luke, says Dustin Lucas, if anything happens, I'm gonna be the next. There's no discussion. There's no nothing. So what happens is, right? Max also says to Lucas, okay, Lucas, I can't have you die. But Lucas says, I did want to be brave and all that. So boom, episode 8. They're still okay. So they blew the Demodogs hideout. There's still the Demobats hideout and Demogorgon. So we have the Demobats and Demogorgon hideout. They need to blow up these 2 hideouts before they could handle the Mind Flayer and Vecna. Right. So it's Nancy and Jonathan. Nancy and Jonathan are part of the Demogorgon. Are trying to take care of the Demogorgon, but instead of doing the plant explosions, they're trying to target them so they could have like a big trap, like the spike trap where they had in the house, but a big one. And what happens is, Jonathan. So they do that trap, right? And Jonathan do the same proposal scene with Nancy, right? But what happens is, before he slips the ring goes all the way down. It touches a vine and alerts all the Demogorgons. All the Demogorgons get alerted, right? So now it's just Jonathan and Nancy. They still have to get out alive. Both of them have to get out alive, and both of them have to deal with the Demogorgons to make sure they're not connected, right? Obviously, we still have the Demobats, but that's for later. So what happens is, there's 2 holes. To running out, there's 2 holes. There's 2 exits. Obviously, Jonathan tells Nancy, I know this is not going to work out, so we do have to break up, but I want you to be happy. So Jonathan pushes Nancy out the way to the hideout. Jonathan throws a grenade at the exit, so the hole is blocked, and they're trapped underground. They cannot get out. And also they fall. So we don't know whether the Demogorgons are still available, and we don't know Jonathan's still alive. So right, so that's how that ends. But the Demogorgons are out, and Jonathan is dead for now. Boom. Then we have episode 9, dealing with the Demobats. How do we get rid of the Demobats? So 11 is trying to do a thing where she is trying to put the Demobats in trying to do what Eddie did, right? So we have Dustin doing the exact same thing as Eddie did, right? Play the guitar, And the difference is 11's there, so 11 is actually trying to like a moth to a flame, putting all the Demobots in the flame to like a flame, leading them to like a fiery flame, like a big like electric wasp thing, and it works. And boom, the Demobots are gone. That's that episode, and then it ends with Vecna being alerted, and it comes to find out, Vecna tells the whole entire cast that Jonathan is still alive, and he uses Jonathan as a hostage. You say, bro, they say, if you don't get here, Jonathan is cooked. So Jonathan is the hostage now. Jonathan is the hostage now. Right? Mind you, the Demogorgons are also not gone. So now it's all of them versus the Mind Flayer, the Demogorgons, and Vecna. They all have to try to defeat Vecna, go past the military, by the way, and also go save Jonathan, who's captured. Now we get to episode 10. Now, bro, y'all go, I don't know, bro. This is my ending. I fuck with this ending, but y'all don't even know where I got going. This is episode 10 now, right? Episode 10. So episode 10, they're dealing with the military. Hopper and Joyce, they're trying to like shut down all the communications, and they're trying to get rid of them. So he shoots them. He shoots all of them. He ends up getting shot, and Hopper dies. Hopper dies, but he takes out all the military. And 11 and Joyce mourn him, and they say go after him, right? And then episode 10, they end up all being there just like before. The Mind Flayer isn't there yet. They're all there. Lucas, whatever. I know your thing, bro. You sideline all of them. I know. I did sideline all that. I did sideline Lucas. I did sideline Steve. But don't get me wrong. Hopper and Joyce, right? Hopper gets shot, and then, but this is what happens. Hopper gets shot, right? Actually, no. Let me not make Hopper die. Hopper gets shot, but then Steve jumps in, saves Hopper's life, right? And then Nancy goes and is there. So Nancy goes to Steve going, "Why did you do that?" Right? And he's like, I always wanted that apology. Or no, I always wanted to be there just to say sorry. I want to say sorry. And then Nancy and Steve had this whole thing where like, oh, I forgive you. I forgive you, Steve. I forgive you, Steve. And then Steve dies. That shit is peak. I don't give a fuck. That shit is peak. So Hopper's still alive, Joe's still alive, but Steve dies in episode 10. I know, bro. This is just death. This is just... I still think it's better than the ending we got, bro. Let me know what y'all think, bro. Is this too much death, bro? Is this too much death, bro? So far, in my plot line, or in my season 5, we have... Who died? We have Murray dying. Hold up. We have Robin dying. Murray dying. Hold up. We have Robin dying. Murray dying. Hold up. Who else? Officially dying. These are official deaths, by the way. Robin dying officially. Murray dies officially. Steve dies officially. Steve dies. This is so far. This is episode 10. All these are happening, right? Robin dies. Murray dies. Steve dies. Who else? Yeah, I think that's it. 11 and Will are still alive, by the way. And then boom, episode 11, the last episode. Y'all gonna make no. Wait, is this episode 10? Okay, wait. This episode 10 isn't finished. So Steve dies right in the episode, or mid episode, and then they're all there, and then episode 10 ends on a cliffhanger. It ends with Vecna killing Jonathan in front of all of them. So Jonathan is dead. Right? Jonathan dies too. That's how episode 10 ends, right? The second to last episode. So Vecna kills Jonathan. Right in front of them. Right in front of the whole cast. Right? So this is episode 11. Hold on, I gotta write episode 11. Okay, so episode 11 begins with Nancy just shooting the heck out of Vecna. Crashing out. Because both her boyfriends are dead. Crashes out. Right? Crashes out. And Vecna kind of like runs away a little bit. and they all mourn Jonathan. Jonathan's gone, and then they're trying to think of a plan. So what they're doing, Kali shows up. So Kali, Will, and Mike, and so Kali, Will, and 11 all join up together, and they all devise a plan. How are we gonna defeat it? So what they figured ended up doing is realizing that we cannot kill Vecna or the Mind Flayer without finding their source of life. So it's somewhere in between the Vecna. It's somewhere in the area around Vecna and the Mind Flayer that they're both protecting. So they're going after it. So there's two groups being split up. The rest of this group is fighting Vecna and Mind Flayer trying to keep them busy, and the other group is heading towards the heart of both of them. Right? So boom, they basically just go after it. The Mind Flayer, it's the same Mind Flayer that we saw in the other one. It could be the same thing. So boom, they're shooting the Mind Flayer, boom, boom. They're all there shooting them, but then at the same time, they're all doing good. None of them dying. But then what happens is all the Demogorgons that they couldn't handle come out. They all come out, right? And they're getting cooked. Like, it's millions of Demogorgons, like a crazy amount. But then there's also the Mind Flayer. And as they're both getting closer and closer, like, Mike Wheeler loses an arm. Trying to fend off a Demogorgon, right? Ends up getting fended off. Lucas ends up in a wheelchair because the Mind Flayer crushed both of his legs. Boom. Mind Flayer crushed both of his legs. And then the Dustin loses his hearing. Dustin goes deaf, bro. Bro, let me know if this is a better ending, bro. I think this is a fire ending, bro. Do not ever let me become a writer, bro. Right? And then they're losing all hope. Nancy's out of ammo. Joyce and Hopper are tired, right? They're all about to die. And at the last second, like, Vecna's running, chasing after Will, Colleen, L after finding out what's happening, right? They're all like trying to crush the heart of both of them, wherever it is, in the cave or somewhere. They see the heart of Vecna and Mind Flayer. All three of them are trying to crush it, right? They're like screaming like, ah. Vecna catches up to them, slices Will's eye off, but before he does anything else, boom, get destroyed like that. It gets destroyed like that. So as the heart destroys, the entire Dimension X is collapsing. All the Demogorgons fall to their death. Mind Flayers fall, like, they all collapse. They all escape. They realize that Dimension X and Upside Down is crumbling. So they all have to escape. They all escape. All of them escape. They all leave. Then Mike and 11 are the last ones there. By the way, Mike does not have. Mike only has one arm. He's with 11. Mike tells 11, Mike, you go. They can't keep going. Only one of them can escape at that point. 11 says, you go. Boom. What ends up happening is Will saves Mike. But then 11 dies in the with the dimension crumbling. So boom, right? And then it ends with the entirety of the town end up forgetting what happens, right? Because something, I don't know, it could be a Mind Flayer thing where everybody forgets what happens, and they all get injuries, they all get whatever, and a lot of people died. So a lot of them are like through counseling. We have like a time skip. They explained how the military just gave up and left them alone because they already suffered a lot, and they knew there was bugging, and they suffered a lot, whatever. Kali finally is free. Will is finally cool with Mike. They get along more. Lucas and Dustin. He goes around and is willing to go around with death. Both Lucas and Max are both in wheelchairs, but they kind of make jokes around that. Dustin is with Susie, but Dustin's deaf, so Susie kind of like helps him out with that. and Vicky mourns Robin. Vicky and Nancy get along, right? Mourning, trying to comfort her. Joyce is just Joyce is with Will, and Joyce ends up finding someone else. Oh no, wait, is Hopper still alive? Yeah, Hopper, Joyce and Hopper are still together. They're chilling. They're trying to comfort each other after what happened, and only like I think only Lucas, Dustin, Mike, and Will graduate. Max doesn't graduate yet, but then all four of them graduate, and they have one final D&D game, and they end up winning the D&D, and then they do the sequence, and then instead of the door being closed, it's open. So the door's open, and they say one last goodbye. And Dustin's deaf, so like they're trying to help Dustin. It's like, oh yo, I rolled a 7, and like he's like doing all that, and then boom, and then the series finally ends. Let me know how I think about that. I'm not gonna lie, I did take away all the mind. I took away all the Max and Holly shit. I took away a lot of like the government shit. I took away a lot of the Vecna shit. Obviously, this is a rough summary. You know, I didn't add a lot of stuff. But in my ending, Robin dies. Murray dies. Steve dies. Jonathan dies. Right? Hold up. Robin, Murray, Jonathan, and Steve, they all die. They all die in my ending. And that's my ending. Let me know what y'all think. I think this is a better ending than whatever we got. Let me know what y'all think. It's a very dark ending, but mind you, this is a weird Armageddon version. This is apocalyptic version. You know, so mind you, this is if it ended with Viking taking over the town. You know, like what I said. If y'all are confused on my summary, I say rewatch this video again because I say a lot of stuff fast, so you might gotta slow down. A lot of points, details fast. So yeah, this is my ending. You know, a lot of the stuff is still there. Like the last D&D game is cool. I think that should still be there. Holly taking over maybe could still be there. The sorcerer, that entire thing could still be there. Kali could still be introduced. That's still there. 11 does die. Oh yeah, 11 does die in my ending. My fault. 11 is confirmed dead in my ending. She's confirmed dead. Yeah. 11 dies in my ending. I know people don't like that. I still think 11 should die because, like, I don't know. I think the same way that Mike and... No. I think 11 should still die, y'all. Because, like, let's be honest, like, her dying and with that, also Dimension X dying, it's kind of like helping it. Kind of like close to the series. Like, it started with L, ends with L. You know, Will should still live because Will have so much to give. I don't know. But this is my ending. Maybe L doesn't have to die. Maybe, Dustin could die instead of 11. You know, but I still think this is cool. This is a cooler version of my ending. I know it's a lot of sadness. You're telling me this ending, Dustin loses another Eddie? You're telling me Robin dies? Bro, Jonathan's my favorite character, bro. Like I think this is fire, bro. I think this is way better than what we got. It's really rough. It's really dark. A lot of the stuff are big. These are big, like, impactful deaths. Like, Robin dying's big. Jonathan dying's big. Steve's dying's big. 11 dying is kind of... I'm like, I might rewrite that, but I think this is cool. You could still write in the Mike's interpretation thing still, like, as they're coming out of the portal, the sonar things could still be there, so you guys that could still be there. You know, so it could be up to interpretation, 11 dying. But that's it. That's the only thing up to interpretation. Every other plot hole gets solved. And yeah, this is my ending. Let me know what y'all think, bro. Let me know what y'all think. Yeah, if y'all don't like it, just tell me in the comments what y'all don't like about it. Tell me what I could have done better. This is like a Weird Mageddon / dark version of my ending. Weird Mageddon, dark version ending of Stranger Things. Let me know what y'all think. I think this ending's way cooler than what we got, bro. Let me know what y'all think.